Well, good afternoon, Jedi traders. It's Ed back again. Gonna walk you through some crude and walk you through an ES trade this morning, or that I saw this morning. Unfortunately, I will a disclaimer in advance. I set up. I did have my setup, and my entry missed by one tick. So I'm gonna correct that in this little replay. Um, let me go ahead and walk you through the chart. Here's what I saw at midnight last night, or right before midnight last night. If you'll notice, um, let me shrink this chart up just a hair. If you'll notice, price action is gone way well past resistance, past overbought. We're way up in this area up here. Okay. Um, we came down from down here from stall reversal. Here's the London low. Here's the London high, and it came up and down. It chopped a little bit, hit here, and then pull back to our overbought line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through the chart. So keep that in mind that we came up all the way up here. We're all the way up to 53.50. We came back from down in this area, down here, which is right around 52.12, 52.08, right in here. So this is basically where we kind of bottomed out. We kind of worked our way up well from 50.75 just the other day. This was Wednesdays. So Thursdays, chopped around a little bit. We had a little bit of chop. So let's see what happens when we walk through this. We got about 15 seconds till midnight. Now what happens is I have a special version of the Murray Math lines that I've written that is a little more accurate. That it doesn't move the lines around nearly as much. I've been testing this for the past week or so, and it's worked out very well, especially on crude and on ES. You don't traditionally trade from like resistance to support, that sort of thing, like you would with traditional Murray math lines. You have to make an evaluation at open or at midnight when the Murray math lines redraw on where you think the market's going to go, where you want your entry and your exit to be. Now, today was pretty simple. Um, Top of the market, 53.50. It's pulling back, pulling back. You can see the market's making lower highs. It's also making lower lows, but we're still way in the overbought area. So I don't think it would be unreasonable to think that we're going to go short, or that we would consider a short. The zigzag midpoint, which is at 52.99, it's been up here, the midpoint. So the market has been pulling back. Again, I don't think a short would be too unreasonable. So let's walk through this. I got a few seconds. At midnight, it will automatically redraw the Murray math lines for you. They reset at midnight and they will stay at the same place through the day. Let's see. Let me get another bar here, and we'll see them shift in a second or two. Let me crank that up a little bit. I want them to. I need another bar after midnight. That's when they'll redraw themselves. Okay, there we go. I'll pause it. You've noticed the Murray math lines have redrawn themselves. Resistance is the resistance zones up in here. What I can do is I can go back to my chart settings and recalculate and watch. You'll watch these things, boom, automatically redraw. So today's open is below that resistance line. So ordinarily, what you would do is you would take your entry at 53.13, set your stop up at 53.32. Okay, that's exactly what I did at midnight. I set a sell limit order at 53.15. Unfortunately, it touched 53.15 and did not fill. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set that up 53.15. Now, when we go back, okay, you'll notice that major support resistance line and the range has redrawn itself. You'll see that it chopped down here. So, you know, I think for a conservative entry, we could make this major support resistance line our target simply because price action has just been, it chopped in here, then went up, and usually what'll happen is when it comes down, it'll chop around in here and then sometimes go back down. But just for a conservative entry, this is where I put my 5234 is exactly where I put my fill last night, so that's where I'm going to put it right now. Um, let me get a little bit of room here. Okay. Now I'll put my sell limit order right there at 5313. I'm gonna back it. I'll back it off a tick or two, say 5310, just for safety. And I'm gonna put. Usually I put it one or two ticks above that resistance line. 5330 was the highest it went in, you know, recently. So I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it's gonna pop up to 5330 to take out my stop. So I think that's a pretty good, a pretty close stop, a pretty good stop level. That's what, 22 ticks. That's $220. Usually, I know people that run 20 to 30 tick stops routinely on crude, simply because it waffles around. You know, it'll jump around quite a bit. Okay, so where's my? Okay, there's my buy limit order. If I was trading two contracts, what I would do is I would take one off. My buy limit order I would take off here. I would take one off usually at the major pivot, um, right here, and just write it down. But you know, let's just trade one contract and see what happens. Okay. Well, I already know what's going to happen because I saw it. But this is the chart. This is as I saw it at midnight. I saw today's open below resistance. I figured it was going to pop up in this zone, and so I put my stop at, or I put my buy limit at 50p13. Stupid. Oh well. Anyway, I'll back it off just for just to show you guys what happened today. Okay, now let me go up and until I get a fill. So we're playing around, playing around. Okay, we're at 5308, 5309. So, and by the way, let me pause it here real quick. This is the interesting thing about crude. See how far it came down? It came down from 50, 30, 50, 25. It came down. It came up 5 ticks below the 50, 30. And then what did it do here? It came up. What is that? 17. That's 8 ticks. So a conservative entry would be around 8 ticks below that, which would be like 5309. So, you know, I can put that 5309 if I want to. Let's put this back up at 5332 and my fill at 5234. Okay. So pretty confident. I got a fill. Okay. So I got a fill at 5309. As you can see, it's going down. If I put my fill at even at 5273, you know, I mean, if you want a few ticks, crude usually moves pretty well. So given price action, is coming down, and you can see it make lower highs. Even though that's a wedge, I don't think it's going to pop up because it's already popped up here. It's a pretty good bet that it's going to pop down, and $220 is not an unreasonable risk for trading crude. Okay, let me pop this up a little bit. There we go. 240. Since we're already filled, I'm not worried about any slippage on that. Okay. So I got filled at 5309. It came up, fiddled around a little bit, came up, fiddled around a little bit. This is pretty typical. It went down to the stall reversal line. You can see it just touched stall reversal. There's the London high, which is at stall reversal, interestingly enough, at that 5293 level, exactly to that level. Pop back up, 53.13. So my fill was at 53.13 earlier, didn't get filled. I just got filled at 53.09. Okay, so now it comes back through here. You could take a contract off at 52.73. That major pivot line is a pretty decent place to take one contract off. Simply because there's a lot of room between here and here. Hold on, let me pause it right here. Because there's a lot of room between resistance and support, I will usually take my contracts off here simply because there's a lot of room between 51.56 and 53.13. That's like a $1,500 move in crude unless there's, and this is a Friday and things are slow and I didn't see any news come out. So things were, it was a relatively slow day. The ES was a little bit slow also. And I'll show that to you in another. I'm going to put in another video about the ES here in a few minutes. Once I get everything reset, and I'll go ahead and post that one also. You'll see we're down 52.42. We're pushing down. When did we get filled on that? This was right after midnight. So I got a fill at. Let me see where that was. 53.0 what? 53.09 right in here somewhere. Okay, there it was. So anyway, right after midnight, we got filled. There we go. There's a 53.08, 53.09, and it bounced off there 53.13. So from 3:36 in the morning, which is right around the time we would have gotten filled, 3:36 to 5:29, you could have gotten in straight overnight, set it and forget it, went to bed. Here we go, bam, we just got filled, 775 ticks, $750, our major support resistance line. If you'll notice, it filled at 52.34. It filled at 52.30. Okay, you could have put it down a little bit further and gotten filled a little bit later, but I'm kind of an advocate of the one and done school where I want to get into one trade in the morning and be done with it. So that was, let's see, when did we get filled? Okay, that's at 52.34. So you're looking at sitting here for 2 hours and just go to bed and set it and forget it and then just get filled. If you'll notice, I didn't expect for it to even come down to the range 52.15. Didn't expect that at all. Now, there was a second chance for an entry at, and it popped back up to, and usually it'll pop back up to today's open, which is 53.10. So, say for example, if I put another buy limit order there at 53.10, and I'll move it down a little bit. Sorry, sell limit. That's at 53, yeah, 53.08. Oh, 53.06. I got some ticks to burn, so I'm gonna put this up here, and I will put this. I'll put my sell limit. A lot of times the market will give you a second chance to get an entry. Maybe not quite as good as the previous one, but sometimes it will give you a second chance. So let's see what happens. So here's market open. Here's the recalculate that so you can see. Okay, there's news. Cash market open here will be in just a minute. Okay, there's the crude. Sorry, pit open, and then cash market open is in a few minutes. Okay, there's cash market open right there. They're buying it up, buying it up, buying it up. Okay, at 5,300. Let's see if I get a fill. So it goes up. And very often it'll pop back up here. So let's see what happens. Nope, don't think. Yeah, let's see, what time is it? 11 o'clock? I don't think so. Oh well, it is what it is. 52. It came down to 52.27. If I had got it in at 5,300 or 53.01, or even let it pop up to the stall week reversal line here, I could have gone for the short. and put my stop up here at resistance, and I would have gotten in, and boom, I would have had another chance for a little bit more there. So anyway, that's that's 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. We'll let it run out here for a minute. Unfortunately, it's now you see the afternoon, starting to see the afternoon chop, and they'll run it up and run it down and play games. And a third time, here we go. We hit that major support resistance line, 52.34. We hit it a third time. So there was still an advantage, still an opportunity. It didn't come back up to major pivot, so you wouldn't have had an entry here, but you would have had an entry down here. I had an entry here. I had one at stall reversal. Let me go ahead and cancel that because I didn't take that. I would have, in fact, the smart move, and I didn't think about it at the time, would have been to take the short right here at the stall reversal line. Once it popped up to that line, I would have taken that, put my stop loss up there. I had a few ticks to play with. So that's a $200. That's like a 20 tick stop. You'll notice it went about halfway and then came back down the other way. So anyway, whoops, there. Sorry, I hit the wrong button. Anyway, you can see one trade and one contract crude, $750 trade. So anyway, that was an absolutely pretty much textbook perfect trade. Again, here's the justification for that. Again, is you can see that number one, we already hit down here. We fiddled around in this range, popped up, went to the overbought line. Okay, the overbought was 53.52. We went up to overbought the previous day. It was not unreasonable to assume. And then we opened at midnight. We opened right at the bottom of resistance. So it was not unreasonable to think that we were going to go ahead and this was going to be a short day down to that major support resistance. Now, if this had been a weekday, I might have thought about waiting until it came back up in this area. They probably would have bought it up in this area, maybe all the way back up to overbought before they dumped it again. But there just wasn't enough volume in the market to really justify that. So there was what 444,000 contracts, which I believe is a little bit low for crude. Anyway, that's Friday. I will come back with an ES video here in a few minutes once I get set up, recorded it, and upload it. Thanks for watching. See ya.